Welcome on board the boat. You can see we've just left Tower Pier. We're travelling backwards at the moment. We're just travelling backwards a short distance to give you a little view here to the right. Before we start our journey, you get a nice picture, a nice photo to the right. Look, on the river wall, you can see, because the tide is quite low, you have the famous entrance into the Tower of London. You can see it on the wall to the right, the writing, entry to the Traitors' Gate. The bricked up archway, it used to be, originally it was Traders' Gate, that's where they used to load the stock to the Tower of London, and as you can see now, Traitors' Gate, all filled in today. We need to give you a safety announcement now that we've left the pier. The safety announcements, we have to do them, so it's nothing to worry you. It's done purely routine. Alright, just to let you know, the boat you're travelling on, she's called the Millennium Time. She's equipped with life rings, life jackets and life rafts. In the unlikely event of an emergency or any accidents today, good luck. Oh, I'm only joking. I wait further instructions, alright? I'm just seeing who was really paying attention. We're going to take you up to Westminster Pier. There's nothing to worry about. Me and my good friend in there driving the boat. We're both fully qualified captains. We've done this journey many times, alright? Enjoy the trip. If you'd like to listen to a commentary, a few people were asking us about the audio guide. It's not on the boat anymore. The company have developed an app. So you have to download an app. It's called City Experience. You can listen to a commentary on your mobile phone or your tablet, wherever you have with you. You can listen to a commentary in 12 different languages. Alright, failing that, if anybody's interested, we could forget the app. I could stand here with you. I can point out some things and I can do a live commentary how it used to be done years ago before we had an app, if you like. I mean, it's up to you. Would anyone like a commentary? Should we come up?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll do that for you, no problem at all. Alright, I understand not everybody's first language is English. I'll try and speak slowly and clearly. Hopefully you will enjoy the trip. Hopefully it's better than figuring out how to download an app on your phone, at least. I'll try my best. We'll start the commentary with the warship ahead of us to the left in the river, the HMS Belfast. She is open to the public. You might see a few people, doesn't look very busy. She's got 9 decks to explore. She's an extension to the Imperial War Museum. She was involved during the Second World War. She's been in London now since the 1970s, last fired her guns in the 1950s. And so she is open to the public. What is quite interesting, if you can see, it's not flying great at the minute, there's a bit of wind about. There's a flag flying at the front of the warship, and it's the only Union Jack in London. Alright, you'll see the flag a lot in London, alright, but you should only call it a Union Jack when it flies from the front of a naval ship. Alright, so there you can see it now, it's picked up a little bit. That's the only Union Jack in London. And quite a nice picture up to the left with the warship and then the tallest building in London, the Shard. Alright, it stands over 1,000 feet high. An Italian architect, Renzo Piano, he was offered £2 million for his design of the Shard, but he turned it down. He refused the money and he agreed instead to do it completely free. For free, providing at the end he gets the penthouse apartment at the top. They gave it to him. Very smart man, because then he sold it. He sold it a year later and he sold it for £48 million. So very, very smart man. Very clever man. All of the buildings to your left, everything you can see until London Bridge, this is a city within a city. It's called London Bridge City. It's all owned and financed by the Kuwaiti royal family. They have their own fire service, their own police force. They have their own hospital to the left, London Bridge Hospital. And if you stay looking to the right, there's before we get to the next bridge, there's a gap in the buildings, and very soon you'll see through the gap, you get a view, a very quick view. There's a column and a golden figure. You get the best view from the river. From a distance, you'll see the monument to the Great Fire of London. It was built to look like a candle, and it was a candle that started the Great Fire all those years ago. And there it is, coming into view, the monument to your right. And the bridge we're approaching. This bridge is very famous. They've carved the name into the bridge, you can see. This is London Bridge. Not many people realise that this is London Bridge, alright? It's not much to look at, it's more the history that makes it famous. The bridge that keeps falling down, I'm sure kids who've sung the nursery rhyme, London Bridge is falling down. That's the fifth one, opened in 1973. The previous London Bridge, that's in America today. I know we've got a few Americans on the boat. Does anybody know where it is?
Arizona.
It's in Arizona. In Arizona. Lake Havasu in Arizona. That's the fourth London Bridge. A tourist attraction.
Why?
And for the children, why? Money, that's why. Money. It's all about the money. If you look to the left, for the children, look, there's a little pirate ship. To your left, in between the buildings, we have a replica to Sir Francis Drake's ship. That was the Golden Hind. The first English captain to sail around the world, he used a ship identical to the one on the left. That one has actually done more sea miles than the original. It's been around the world twice before. And then we have the Cannon Street Railway Bridge. The station is to the right. For the adults, look under the bridge to the right and you can see some semi-naked people. There you go. See the people laying down on the chairs there. This is a luxurious spa. They placed it under the bridge so nobody can see them when they're in there. That's the reason why. You've got passenger boats going past every 5 minutes. People like me pointing at them. And some days are a lot better than others as well, I must admit. Some days you wished you'd never looked through those windows, believe me. There's a lovely little pub here on your left, the building that has red window frames. The lights are on in the garden, the beer garden. This is the Anchor, over 400 years old. It was built in 1615. A lot of famous people have used the pub. They say that's where William Shakespeare used to change before performing at the original Globe Theatre. And when we clear the Southwark Road Bridge, look ahead of us to the left. For any Shakespeare fans, we've got a replica to Shakespeare's Globe. So it's the white circular building that has a timber frame, a thatched roof, and the red flag flying from the flagpole. This is an exact replica, the only building in London to be allowed a thatched roof. See, it's now illegal to build with timber and thatch. Caused the spread of the Great Fire all those years ago. It's an open-air theatre as well, so bear that in mind. If you go inside, they don't have a top to the roof. It's a hollow building. They will continue to perform through all weathers. Alright, as they say, the show, it must go on. Just like on this boat really, we continue to perform through all weathers on board this boat, that's what we do. It's good value for money though. If you go inside there today, you can find tickets online for as cheap as £5 a person. I think that's very good value for money. Live entertainment in London from just £5. Is everybody enjoying the live commentary so far?
Yes.
Good. Brilliant. It's good. £5. See you at the end. Then you've got the Millennium Footbridge we're approaching. Follow this bridge to the right. And firstly, again, for the children, you've got a school to the right. The City of London School. This is where Daniel Radcliffe went to school. The actor better known as Harry Potter, that's the school that he went to. Alright, so that's Hogwarts, kids, that's for you, Hogwarts. And then behind the school, you've got the dome and the Golden Cross, considered the masterpiece of Sir Christopher Wren, St. Paul's Cathedral. If you look on top of the dome, people are walking around. So they have a viewing platform and the views are brilliant. Just as good, maybe even better than the London Eye. You're very central to London, you get great views. But just remember, to get to that viewing gallery, they don't have any lifts to get to the top, alright? No elevators. You have to climb over 500 steps to get to the top, alright? But you can see people walking around up there today. They probably started their journey 3 days ago to get there, but they made it up there. Good luck to them. Then you have the Blackfriars Bridges we're approaching. Quickly in the distance to the right, you can see another church, and it looks like the tiered wedding cakes. Could you see that? That's where the original wedding cake design started. So St. Bride's, when the young couple got married in there, they asked the cake maker to make the cake look like the church, and that's what started it all those years ago, St. Bride's. And then we have, as I was going to say, the Blackfriars Bridges. The first one is a railway bridge. The station is actually on top of the bridge. And as we go through, these red columns, these are all that remain from the very first railway bridge in London. Then you have the Blackfriars Road Bridge. Hard to believe now, but this is the lowest bridge on our journey. Lots of clearance, you can see that. To put the tide into perspective, about 4 hours ago, we would have only just about fit through this arch 4 hours ago. The tide has been leaving London now for the last 4 to 5 hours. And again, later on high tide, on a good high tide, sometimes we can't fit through that bridge. We have to plan our journey around the high tide period. If you look into the right, this is, you've got a very big construction site here to your right. It's nearing the end now, the Thames Tideway Tunnel, or the Super Sewer. We've upgraded our sewage network. The old Victorian sewer, it was built for a population of 1 million. Today we have somewhere in the region of 10 million people, so we're due an upgrade. They've dug a huge pipe 50 metres below the river, running from Putney down to Beckton. It follows the river's path, and there's about 12 of these work sites. As I say, it's nearing an end now. You're approaching, I think, the 10-year mark for the work coming to an end, the Thames Tunnel. Just quickly again to the right, the building with the green sloping roof, that's the old City of London School. I pointed out the new one, that's the old one. Today the building is offices for a wealthy bank, JP Morgan, that's their office to the right. And speaking of tides, when we clear the construction, if you look to the old section of River Wall to the right, you can see a very good indication of where the tide was on high tide. Near the top of the wall, you can see the moss line, and that's where the tide makes its mark twice every 24 hours. So we have an average rise and fall of 7 metres here on the Thames. The green lion's heads at the lampposts, they're an early flood warning for London. The police were told if the water touches the lion's mouth, that's when they have to issue their flood warning. They were taught a little poem, a rhyme. It goes, if the lions are drinking, then London is sinking. There we go. And when the tide is very low, as it is now, look to your left. Not many people realise this about London. You can see for yourself, look on the left, possibly One of the finest beaches in the world is here in London. Can you see that? The South Bank Riviera. There's nobody there today, I don't know why. It's a lovely day for the beach, isn't it? The great British summertime has begun. It's a great time to go to the beach. This is where Baywatch was filmed, if anybody remembers. This is where we leave London now. As we pass the White Ship to your right, the area to the right is Temple, and we pass Temple Gate. This denotes we're leaving London, we're entering Westminster. The City of London begins at Tower Bridge and it finishes at Temple. Alright, the City of London measures 1 square mile. Alright, originally named Londinium when the Romans landed, and we've now left it, and this is Westminster. We also have what used to be the Royal Barge here on your right, the old St. Catherine. You can see the black and white ship with the new glass box on the top. It's fallen into disrepair now. It's not used by the royal family. They've got a much nicer boat today. But years ago, if they came onto the river, that's the boat they would have used. And then if you look to the right, you've got the building that has the green dome on the roof, Somerset House. If you look below the green dome, where you can see the red bus, the afternoon tea bus tour, just behind that, if it moves, you'll see a stone archway, a good indication of how wide the river used to be. Years ago, you were able to row a boat underneath that archway, straight through the courtyard of Somerset House. The river wall was placed here in the Victorian times. It made the Thames a lot narrower. It used to be a lot wider than it is today. And then we have the longest bridge here in London, Waterloo Bridge. This bridge is known better by its nickname, the Ladies' Bridge. It was built by women during the Second World War, the Ladies' Bridge. The only bridge in London that was ever finished on time, ladies. Well done. You've done an excellent job with the bridge. As we clear the bridge, look to your right, the building with a green flat roof. This is the famous Savoy Hotel, the 5-star Savoy. A lovely place to stay. It is quite expensive, I'm sure you know, but a lovely place to stay. Is anybody staying in the Savoy Hotel whilst you're in London? Is anybody, any rich people amongst us? It's very expensive. These river-facing rooms, they average, I believe, about £500 for the night. If you'd like to stay in a river-facing room on New Year's Eve, they charge £10,000 for the night. And the stone column to your right, this is Cleopatra's Needle. That's the oldest thing on our journey, said to be over 3,500 years old. There is a twin. It stands in Central Park in New York, an identical column. And ladies and gentlemen, this is our last bridge we're going to take you underneath. An old tradition, you give the people a wave. If they wave back, that's 5 years of good luck. That's what they say. It's not very busy up there. Did they wave back? No? Don't worry if they don't wave back, it just means they're from London. Try again. We've got another attempt. Give it a go. We'll try and wake them up for you. Look at that miserable man.
Nobody wants to wave.
There you go, look. There's somebody waving. Happy person. And you look up to your left. One of London's most visited and most popular tourist attractions, the London Eye. 450 feet tall. Today it's the 5th biggest in the world, I believe. They're building them everywhere now. It's a very, very popular attraction and a massive financial success. They have reported the London Eye can turn over in one day £250,000 on a very busy day. It holds 32 of those capsules. It's not a random number. Each capsule, it represents one of the 32 boroughs around London. They make up Greater London, and at the top, on a clear day, you should see all of those boroughs. That's why they called it the London Eye. You can see each capsule, very busy. They hold up to 25 people in each pod. 30 minutes all the way around. So you get about 10 minutes at the very top. They've recently announced they are the second most popular place in Europe for marriage proposals as well. Not the first. The most popular place, I'm sure you can guess, the Eiffel Tower in Paris. That's the most popular. The London Eye, number 2. Alright, although you have to be confident on the London Eye, don't you? Remember, it's 30 minutes to go all the way around. If you get to the very top and they say no thank you, I don't really like you that much, and you've got a long 15 minutes to get back down to the bottom, it could become very awkward. Just be confident. And then you have Westminster Bridge ahead of the boat. What we will try and do, at the moment, the tide is pushing us down the river. We're going against the tide, so not as easy to maneuver for pictures, but we'll try and get you a little side-on view, a little shot, a picture of the Parliament building. The Houses of Parliament is ahead of us to the right, more commonly known as Big Ben. Alright, or put your hand up if you think you can see Big Ben. Quite a clever bunch actually, quite a few hands stayed down. You can't see Big Ben, it's a trick question. Nobody can really see it. It's the bell, the clock tower that we all call Big Ben, that's the Elizabeth Tower. Big Ben, the bell, and that's the hour bell, the 13.5-ton bell that strikes the hour and the hour alone. Lee's got us in a great position. Look through the gap, you can see the white castle-like building. This is Westminster Abbey. Just a short walk from the pier, walk through Parliament Square, and you have the Abbey, surrounded by some lovely old buildings. You've also got the larger tower, the one that flies the Union flag. That's the Victoria Tower. So, the Victoria Tower is the traditional entrance that royalty will use when they enter or leave the Parliament building. There's also another tower that not many people realise is there, a very small tower, and you're going to have to follow me on this one. I'll try and, if you can all see it, but if you look at Westminster Bridge ahead of us, look through the bridge, follow the Parliament building where it meets the trees, and you'll see there's a very small hut. If anybody can see that, it's quite difficult with the angle at the moment, but there's a flight of steps that lead into the river, and at the top of the steps, what used to be a prison. Alright, it's a one-person holding cell. It was Blackrod Prison, and that's where you would have been held if you were found guilty of treason. Alright, so remember we started the journey, we saw Traitors Gate, that's where you would have been taken. You'd have been kept in that cell for one night. In the morning, walk down the steps, and Thames watermen, people like us, would have rowed you to the Tower of London to await execution. Off with your head. The old accent chopping mark, alright, but that's where it all began, at Blackrod Prison and Blackrod Steps. And there we go, Westminster Pier is to the right. We'll take you into the pier very soon. We'll just wait for the river traffic to come past us, and then we'll slowly head into the pier. You'll notice as they come past, we're going to start to rock around. We do recommend try and be seated when we go into the pier, just in case we have a little bump. If you're at the back, that's fine, hold on to a handrail, expect a little bump as we touch the pier. Have a look around you as well. Please don't leave anything behind that might ruin your day. Bags, cameras, phones, children, alright, whatever you've brought with you, you take home safely, alright? Don't leave anything behind at all. You laugh when I say that. You'd be surprised how many people leave kids on this boat, especially when you're travelling in big groups. It happens quite a lot. You always get kids left on board. I've got 10 kids at home now. They all speak different languages. Can't afford any more, so you take them with you, alright? Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for your attention along the way. Thank you.